Hello and welcome to the next episode. This should be a fairly short one, but it's just going to be about how useful these tools can be to help us with embedding some of those elements that can be quite tricky, such as maths, English, and British values. So we're going to dive straight in and we're just going to use ChatGPT again for this one. Okay, so I can speak from experience, especially when I first started teaching, that it can be really tricky to embed things like maths and English and British values into lessons. That's a simple fact of teaching, and we all know that we should be doing it. Now, obviously, we've already spoken about how we can use this to plan out sessions. We've spoken about how we can use it to help us with differentiation. But how can we get this to actually help prompt us a little bit further as to how we can include some of these buzzwords within our lessons? So I'm going to go for a topic that I've really struggled with before, and this is when I used to teach art to level 2 students, and I was doing a surrealism project. Now, my question was always, how do I embed maths into a surrealist digital art project? So let's ask ChatGPT and see what it can come up with. Now, I've not done this before, I've not asked it for this topic, so everything that it's going to come up with is completely fresh to me as well as you. So let's give it some context. I'm teaching a lesson on how to create surrealist digital art. I'm not sure how I can embed maths, English, and British values within the session. Can you help me? Let's see what it comes up with. Absolutely. Embedding maths, English, and British values in a lesson on creating surrealist digital art can add depth and relevance. So what's it come up with? Some maths. So geometry and symmetry. Surrealist art often plays with shapes and forms. You can explore concepts like symmetry, transformations, etc. and example activities as well. Proportions and scaling, patterns and repetition. Great. Okay. English. Descriptive language and artist statements. Critical analysis. Vocabulary building. Great. British values. So, encouraging students to express their unique creativity for individual liberty. Discuss how surrealism embraces different perspectives and challenges and norms for mutual respect and tolerance. Democracy. Get students to work in groups, allow them to vote on collective design elements. Rule of law. Briefly discuss copyright and intellectual property. So this is great. One of the things that I love about this tool, though, is it will go, would you like me to help you create specific activities or worksheets embedding these elements? So, I'm just going to say yes to both, please. Show my enthusiasm with a little exclamation mark. So, here's a detailed breakdown of specific activities. So, students choose to create a shape using digital software. They can apply at least 2 transformations, reflection, rotation, or scaling, and ask them to calculate the angle or rotation or percentage of scaling they used and note it down. Show how these mathematical changes can alter the perception and mood in surrealist art. Very nice. So, it's going to keep it all on topic. Same for English, same for British values. And here's a worksheet that it's coming up with as well. So it can create a downloadable version of the worksheet or create some sample text for the artist statement. Let's just say yes, please. You can kind of get to a point where you just copy and paste in the same answer. Just yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. There we go. So here's an actual worksheet. It's got some buzzwords on here. And it's even given us a PDF of this file. Now, this sometimes doesn't work. This is one of the things that I find is that it gives you the option, but it doesn't always actually do what it is it's going to say. But there's nothing to stop you from copying and pasting this into a doc yourself. Okay. So another thing that I could get it to do is talking about artist statements and stuff like that. What would be quite nice is if I can ask it if there are any quotes that I can include from artists that fit these themes. Let's see if it can find any. Okay. And there we go. So, quite a quick way of achieving these different points. So there you go. It's as simple as that. Now, one of the next things we're going to do is start to tackle some of those trickier admin tasks that we face. We're going to start with the one that takes up the most time. That is assessment. Now, I can be quite a hypocrite with my students where I demand that they hand things in by the deadline, but then I struggle myself to actually get them the feedback within the 2-week turnaround that we promise. So I've used this to help me develop tools to give them better quality feedback in a much more timely manner. So join me in the next episode where I'll show you exactly how I did that with some examples of the tools that I've made.